we're going to play spider guard again. We're going to talk about the grips just to start off. When I grab the grips, I'm going to put my thumb inside, and I like to roll my fingers so I get this nice little ledge here. Okay? So thumb inside and I roll here. I'm going to do the same thing. Now the placement of my hands, I'm going to try to put the flat part of my knuckles right where his wristwatch would be. Okay, not where my grandfather wears his wristwatch, is down here, but up here, like normal people. And the nice thing about this position is I can roll my hands upwards, and I can pry his hands off from grabbing my belt and stuff. Like sometimes you're here and they start reaching for your gi. I can just lift up and undo his grip and make sure that I get underneath his hands. Okay? I can also roll to the inside and push his hand down, and I can use my legs to help me lock up the kimuras and the omoplatas. Okay? The other thing I can also do is obviously do the combinations. I can lift one up and one down. It's kind of play with these grips here. So fingers, thumb in, rotate, get this part of your fingers right on where the wristwatch would be, and I can roll up or roll down. Okay? So that's where we're going to start off with those grips right here. And I don't really need to keep a super tight grip once I get the spider guard. I'm just going to use these kind of like C grips and just hold on to this position here. So from here, just to start off, we're going to go ahead and shrimp out. The taller you guys are, the more you're going to have to shrimp away from the person's hips. The shorter you are or the more flexible you are, I can move laterally and just shrimp my butt sideways and slide my knee through. Okay? So if you get a guy that's really driving in with a lot of his pressure, his chest down, I'll definitely have to shrimp out to slide this knee in. Okay? So we're here, I've got this position, I've got my grips, I'm going to shrimp out and get that scissor sweep kind of knee shield right up across his chest. And I like it to go across like a seatbelt. My foot is still hooked here, and I got my shoulder up, or knee towards his shoulder. My right foot, I'm going to go ahead and plant right onto his hip here, and that is going to be taking place of this chest in a second, okay? Or this knee on his chest. So I'm here and here. I'm going to open my shin up and slide my shin all the way to the outside where his elbows bend here. Okay? A lot of you guys are hitting like that position in this position here, or playing a spider guard with a foot in the armpit. It's got to be to the outside. This has got to be to the outside as well. Okay? So anytime you're playing spider guard, you can always think about you can think about like a short man spider guard or like a dwarf spider guard, just using your shin here. Okay? And this is the essential. A lot of the stuff that you can do from spider guard, you can do from here. Kick out, hit the triangle, omoplata and triangle, etc. So we're here. I'm going to slide this out, boom, and then from this position, I'm going to go ahead with this grip here. If I have my hand in this position, aligned with his hand, if he punches his arm through, towards my armpit, and keep punching, boom, I can lose his grip because the opening is on the bottom side of my hand, right? So here, when I'm trying to get my foot to the spider guard, instead of, because I'm pushing with my shin here, I don't need to leave this gap to where I'm, right where I'm about to do this. If he pushes his hand through, so right here, he pushes his hand through, I can lose my grip. So what I'm going to do is, this position, I'm just going to roll it down like I'm throttling a motorcycle. Boom. Okay, so my palm is underneath. So if he tries to push, I can keep him at bay without having to do anything. Of course, if he pulls here, I'm going to lose the grip because now the opening is facing outwards. I use this grip a lot when I'm hitting the De La Riva sweeps. If you pop this leg up, and I'm hitting the De La Riva sweeps, or I'm going up in the air, I throttle my hands here so he can't put his hands on the floor versus here where he can touch the ground. Okay. So we're going to do that same thing from the beginning. Thumbs in, I shrimp, knee shield, foot on the hip. I'm going to slide this out to the outside. I'm going to start to roll this here because I'm going to push with my shin and then slide my foot right to that position. Once I get here, I'm going to unthrottle and get my hand back to regular. Because if I do this and I kick, I'm going to break my own grip. Okay? So in this position, I'm going to work my other foot in. I can kind of just slide this through and get to that spider guard position. If I'm putting 40 pounds of pressure with my foot, I want to make sure that my hand can withhold 40 pounds of pressure. If I out kick my grip, you're going to lose your own grip and you're going to burn out your fingers. So you want to make sure in the spider guard that your pull is a little bit stronger than your push. Okay? And then at certain times when I need to extend, that's when I'm going to push a little bit more with my leg. And if I need to pull in, I'm going to relax my leg a little bit and pull with my hands. So we're going to go to the spider guard. I'm off to the side. You don't want to play spider on your butt here, like sitting flat. So a lot of times, people play good spider when the person's on the floor here, but once they start standing up, and they start standing all the way up, and then they start turning, this is what happens is your butt gets flat, and you're trying to play spider guard from this position. Okay? If you play spider from your butt, from your tailbone, like a flipped over turtle. You can't really do much here. The guy's gonna grab your pants, and then he can pick a side. He can pass my legs this way. He can shoot my legs down. He can shoot them straight down to the floor and go to mount. He can lift straight up and pass. He's got a lot of options. So I have to be off to the side. Okay, so back on the floor. Yeah, on the floor. So we left off in this position. Okay. So I've got good enough, pressure matched up with my hands and feet. The next thing I like to do is if I'm off to my right side, my right leg is going to be slightly extended here. Okay, not fully extended, but just slightly. My left hand, I'm going to go ahead and roll this to the inside and get my elbow into my hip socket here. So here to here. Because what happens in this position is, because I'm kicked off here, if he grabs the outside part of my ankle and just smashes my leg in, he can try to pass my guard that way, right? So what I don't want him to do is be able to get that outside grip. So I break that grip and make sure he gets inside, number one. Number two, when I'm here to the outside, if I want to push this hand, the only thing I can push with is my left leg, right? The only thing I can pull with is my left hand. So it's going to be like kind of a push and a pull, that's it. But if I roll this to the inside, okay, and I get my elbow here, when I push, I can push with my hand. Okay, I'm not even using I can push here, right? Along with my foot, and I can also pull just with my shin, my foot here. Okay? So this is much stronger to push and pull here in this position. If you guys are ready to hit attacks like arm bars and triangles and omoplatas, if I undo this foot and put it on his hip to pull, if I keep my elbow in this way, I'm limited to how far I can pull his elbow towards me. Whereas if I lift with my elbow up above my head, I can yank him much higher to the last triangles and whatever. Okay? So same thing, if I want to pull this side, I can extend here. If I pull with my elbow here, I'm limited in what I can do. Whereas I can pull my elbow above me, and then I can really start working the sweeps and get them closer to me. So we're here, we're gonna hit the switch, and I'm gonna lift my hips up, just like we do shrimps when our feet are on the floor. You lift your hips up, and then you roll your hips to the side. Lift your hips up, roll your hips to the side. People that are good at spider guard, you're just replacing the floor with your opponent's arms. So I can do the same shrimp by putting pressure on his biceps. Okay, and then lift and kick. Roll this hand inside, elbow here. Okay? I can't do this just by dragging my butt around like this. Okay? I'm gonna go lift, putting pressure on his bicep with my feet. I'm kind of clamping down here and lifting up and kicking. And then I roll this elbow to the inside here. Lift up, kick, roll inside. Okay? From this position too, you guys can really start, like if you want to take this to the next level and start really manipulating what legs, like if you want to go from spider guard to De La Riva guard and stuff, like I have my right leg kicked here. If I want this guy to lift this leg, one thing that I can try to do is just kick my left leg straight toward the ceiling. Just lift. And that foot may come right up. And then I can go right into De La Riva guard. I got De La Riva plus the single combo spider. So I can sweep the guy this way. I can drop him this way. I've got a lot of options there. Okay? So that's one way from spider guard that I can get him to lift up is once, let me back on the floor, is I just kick this foot straight to the ceiling. Hopefully our height is enough, it's very similar where I can lift and he puts that leg up there. Come back. If I want him to lift this leg up, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go for the push sweep here and I push. Okay? And I'm looking to sweep him here. If he doesn't fall, so a lot of times I go for this push kick, boom, and then the guy lifts his foot like that, right? And then the first thing I need to do, because his foot's so far away from the De La Riva hook, I hook here and then I just butterfly sweep this guy this way. Right? Come back. Once you get that butterfly established, I go to spider and push, and I go here. Sometimes from this hook, I can pull his leg in, then and beat it to the De La Riva hook. So I've got the De La Riva plus the opposite single spider combination. Same sweep left, same sweep right. So you can really manipulate the guy and start working from those positions.